change the change it.
Dang, subject now?
I know, right?
I don't even know if I can change it.
As you guys see, as you know already, all right? I mean, it probably takes like a minute or two for anybody to even register. But is it on, moderator?
Not yet. You want it on now?
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go. As you all know, well, somebody's on. As you all know, Tuesdays, 7:45. Yeah, this. What are you doing? You bringing out here? You making us look bad. You're supposed to be a servant. You didn't bring our guests any water. You didn't. This is crazy.
You want me to get that from water?
It's probably really good.
Yes, moderator, because this gentleman over here sure didn't do it.
I'm gonna keep going.
That's fine.
It says conversation. But it's all good.
Because it could be. Only reason I say that is because I don't know what he's about to talk about.
No one ever knows what he's gonna talk about.
We don't know.
He might not even know.
But I do know that every Monday at 6:30 p.m.
Talk about it. What do we do?
Can you see us with that?
Yes.
You sure?
What you mean?
Oh,
you can't see it.
I can't see it. That's good though. Every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Thank you, moderator. Yours. You know what?
First lady.
Oh, and if I have it right, you know, right, Steve?
Oh my God.
Every Monday, 6:30 p.m., we drop another episode on our Righteous Unity, UNITEE YouTube channel. I'm probably gonna mention that a couple of times, considering that we have a special guest and she has way more followers and viewers than us. So I'm gonna throw that out there as many times as I can. Righteous Unity YouTube channel. Follow it. Follow the channel.
Righteous Unity.
We got about 32 episodes. Steve, you probably didn't check out the last episode.
I did. Yo, this Rocky Road Moose is banging. I made it yesterday.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So every Monday, 6:30 p.m., make sure you check out another episode, man, of Real Talk. Now, on Tuesdays.
Real.
Yeah, it's real talk. Yeah.
Because it's real talk.
It is. All right, Steve. What happens on Tuesdays? I'm surprised you didn't cut me off and start talking, start power tripping. But what happens on Tuesdays? We discussed what happens on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. What happens on Tuesdays?
So Tuesdays at 7:45, get live. Go on our live platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And you like that? And we have live discussions. We're going to have real talk live discussions about womanhood. And maybe you feel like you have an opinion about it. Opportunity to kind of like elevate the dialogue that needs to take place in the churches. Earlier, we were recording an episode of Real Talk that's going to be aired later with Itina on it. And one of the things that she brought up was about how in the church, she really never saw women leading women how to live simple lives at home and so on. It was more about the behaviors in the church. And we would want to dialogue because what we need to do is elevate this dialogue about what's more important for the churches to be teaching. How to wear a dress in church, or how are you living your lives in your home as a woman, as a mother, out in the world? How do you as a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, how do you function in those roles and remain godly or remain, in the world, but not of it? You know what I'm saying? So you're able to, have the mental capacity and the mental equipment to work through those experiences and making sure you're still offering the world a light to give hope, a light to, impress them, to show them that it's Christ who keeps me solid, who keeps me grounded. Tuesdays, we have live discussions.
All right. Well, with that being said.
Yo, Itina, where are you going?
I'm fixing it. What's the matter?
With that being said, what is the live discussion going to be about tonight? Because as you all know, we don't know. Oh, real quick, our special guest, Itina, AI Anomaly, if you know her in the CHH world. There's so many things that we could say. Mother, wife, entrepreneur, community activist, Black Lives Matter. Christian. Educator, put some respect on her name. She's a professor, all right? What else you want to know? she's here joining us, man, rocking out with us. And
Yes.
she's really being humble about our setup because she can really probably say a bunch of things about it. But here she is, not saying anything about it.
It's the best you could do
So we appreciate
on an
that.
episode that I'm part of. No microphone.
Right. Tell him. Get him. Get him, Itina. Get him. Get him.
We're gonna have her back. It's just gonna be a while because she's busy, but we'll definitely get her back on the
Stay
show.
busy.
Steve, please, because I can have plenty of things to talk about, but I'm trying to let you lead this live discussion thing.
All right, we'll pass it off because, I mean, you were just talking.
You can't pass a mic.
Here you go, sir.
So, tonight we're going to talk about the CHH crowd.
Ooh.
Okay,
A crowd?
or just So all of you know, or a lot of you know, Itina, who's our guest, is an artist, very good artist. She's a dope lyricist, and
This dude is really eating right now.
He
I can't take him
is. He's
serious.
just
I really
really
can't
full.
take you serious
Why?
right now.
What's up?
On the
Jason,
episode, I'm part of.
Jason Graham is saying, first of all, he asked what you was eating. Steve, I told him he was putting.
This is what I'm
And
saying.
then he said, come on. So I don't know what that means.
It means stop eating and smacking. It's probably what
That's
he's saying.
probably what it is.
Like,
What
cut.
kind of etiquette is this?
This is he's never
This
done
is
that.
terrible.
He's never done that before.
Y'all just wait until I get here. No
Pretty
microphone,
much.
eating food
Yeah.
what's wrong with
with
eating?
a white hoodie on, with
All right,
these
I didn't know about the props.
overexposed lights on the white.
All right,
hoodie.
hey, easy.
He
The rule of thirds is off.
He said, no, the topic, laugh all out. And then Jennifer,
Jacory.
yeah, says, I love y'all, laugh all out.
Yeah, get to the topic. Like, stop eating. I'm about to throw this food. So, seriously, you're killing me.
You gonna throw it on his plate, honey?
So let's talk about the a lot of you
This
guys,
is really good.
you know,
He
that
offered me some. Like, get out of here.
Here, you can have the rest.
Take this out of my face.
CHH,
Damn.
Yeah, I took it away.
the
That's
CHH
great.
Get this
crowd.
out of here too. This is in the shot.
Right.
This is
Yo, you
ridiculous.
have a videographer that's like scoping your set, yo.
I already know what it is. So that's
Look
why
how over. Look at this.
it's about the content right now, guys. Let's just focus on the
He looks
content.
so holy.
We got some viewers here who want to know. He's saying, "Come on, I want to hear the
Yeah,
topic."
All right, so Itina is signed with a very popular Christian hip hop artist group called God Over Money, Joanne, and she's been with it for over a year, right? About 2 years.
Almost 3.
Okay.
Or if not 3.
COVID makes you forget a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, and she's seen a lot out there, so that's what we want to dive into. Because as far as, the industry, how the industry operates, the artists themselves, the people, and understand the only reason why we have these kind of dialogues is to help people issues or misconceptions or preconceived notions that have misled them, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? We want to work through.
Should have started the live.
I told you that. You can
Go ahead,
still-
start the
you
new
can
live.
still do
Sorry.
it.
Start to.
I said that.
Give
Nobody
me my
listening.
pudding back while she's doing that. Give me
No,
back my.
nobody. I just
Come
want to
on.
say this very
He's gonna
quickly.
finish
I
his
want
food.
my.
I
I'm
just wanna say
gonna
this.
come back on because I
In
want this to
about-
be 2 different videos.
Yo,
How many years have I been up here? Real quick, viewers. How
I don't
many years
even
have I
know.
been here since I moved here in 2011? It's going on 11 years in August. In the 11 years that I've been here, I've done nothing but try to help this guy understand things that he doesn't see and pay attention to. And for 11 years, he keeps telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. So here's another situation where I'm prepping people to understand, hey, we're going to do a different live discussion. Let's change the videos out. Let's do these things. Yeah, we're good. Why are you trying to bother over here with these videos? And here we are.
What are you
Yep,
talking
he
about?
was right.
Literally,
I should've.
Stop talking.
all the viewers have just become more dumb hearing
Wow.
that statement.
This is how he pastors too. In case you want to know, he's our pastor. Wait till Tina sits back down so we can say, yes, he's our pastor. And this is how he talks to us.
I'm getting there. My bad.
Only him. This is our relationship.
sorry.
Yeah, soft answer turned away rasp.
What are
He
you
doesn't
talking
care.
about? What are you talking about? What's the topic?
CHH industry. And
I don't know about
the-
industry. I
I'm
don't
just
know if
gonna
it's
not
industry.
do that.
all right, so what do you want?
Jason Graham
It's nothing.
says y'all funny.
What do you want to talk about then? I mean,
No.
how do you want to term it?
I don't need to term it. I'll term it after we're done.
All right, perfect. See, that's what she could do. Yo, now we
And
gotta
we're
talk
back.
about that thumbnail you did today for the story.
I'm trying. At least I'm trying. You
I-
can't knock a person
I
for
was-
trying.
I agree.
Flavor on it.
Little flavor.
Even if it was trash, it was better than nothing.
You're
It
right.
was very
All
bland
right.
flavor. But it was flavor.
I'm trying out here, man.
I don't know what you were doing. There's all kinds of things happening.
You're gonna have to premise the thing again because we started
Yep.
over.
So we want to talk about the Christian hip hop community, the industry. We want to talk about the persona that's carried in the industry. What are the what years? I mean, we're not bashing anybody. We're not bashing. I love Christian hip hop. I can tell you a story that before I got involved with Christian hip hop, as far as listening to it, I was I looked at it as sinful, ungodly, until I spent time. Man, she's got me pegged as old. Go ahead.
Okay, Jason Graham says, one question I have as a CHH community myself, don't have it in their church in Buffalo.
Not just in Buffalo. We'll get to that, and probably Tina will touch on that, but I will speak on that as well.
Maybe. But then after that,
No, it's been around for over 10 years, dude, and people.
but it's been do praise and worship.
Longer than that.
Yeah, that would be our kind of church, but there's a lot of churches that still have a
It
hard
was
time
great.
accepting it. You
But
have.
bring in a secular rapper.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Let's get back to you. And now you're in the industry to what you're seeing out there. What I want you to do is kind of pull back a little bit and help people to understand as far as the so-called glory cloud that seems to be, in industry, how people, but yet there's still human beings and there's still a lot of flaws and there's still a lot that they have to work through and people have to work through while they're out there. So, talk about that a little.
Everybody is just human beings. You may view certain artists that you look up to a lot, and it's based off of either the persona, how they look, how what they're saying in their music, how well versed they seem, and you may hear other things about them, or you may come across them or you may perceive certain people be in a certain way, whether person is real corny when it comes to blah blah blah, or they have an ego problem, or they really look down on artists that aren't up there.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all. So it's always going to be difficult for me not to talk about it, but approach a lot of things possibly in a different. When I go into certain circumstances, I'm going to, I may have preconceived ideas
Based on
what I hear,
yeah.
but I try my best not to allow those preconceived ideas,
Those prejudices
move me a certain way when I get in front of whoever.
Heard. Yeah, and typically the practice out there, like maneuvering, you know what I'm saying?
I think with a lot of different things, it's like some people take themselves way like a lot of times.
Let it flow. Let it flow. I heard the sentence going. Just let it flow.
Hip hop, and I would say that in any space, like it's not like
you're not the one that God sent solely to save the world.
you know. It's just you're just a human being. I really believe that people probably be careful at how they esteem themselves, because the more you I'll tell you right now, exactly how this goes. You get a little, clout, notoriety. People start feeling you. You start getting opportunity.
Yep.
You may start off with like, oh man, God, God is the foundation, and I'm going to do this. And people continuously seek you out, continuously are saying great things about you, asking you to go here and there. What's happening? Your time is being thinned. The more thinned out your time is, the less time you have to be careful. The less time you spend with reading the word, with your family, and that's going to cause friction.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get caught up, if you allow yourself to get caught up, operate with restraint, you're going to have a long fall. And it'll fall down, whether it be because of that fall. So I see that a lot. I see that happening.
Do you feel like people?
First of all, I have another question. I run this one.
Do you feel like people have been getting respect as a CHH artist, just as an, or do you feel like people give you respect, and just in your whole experience, respect as from a lyricist standpoint, but just maybe even interact or how they talk about you? Do you how they do it? Like, do they confine you like, oh, she's dope as a woman, or like generally like, no, she's dope, period?
I've got both. She's dope. To me, it doesn't matter either one. Come off as very boring and bland by saying that, but for me, I could feel a view about the dopeness, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that it's a very heavy issue when it's like, oh, she's dope as a female. AI, the female Christian hip hop artist. It's true. It's a fact. But yeah, I do give both of those.
Sean, greatest thing since sliced white bread.
Fudge.
And then Gav Track 7, one of the dopest.
Gav, what's up?
Righteous Unity YouTube channel. Righteous Unity.
Subscribe and click the bell, man. Yo, that's what's up, guys.
Check out the YouTube channel. That's what's up, man.
All right, so listen, IT. So here's something that.
And Jason says.
So I approach CHH. I know I.
You want to say CCA?
But you're not saying CCA. You're saying CCA.
What CCA called?
What are you trying to say?
You want to talk so much. He can't even say the word. CAA. I got to be politically
culinary arts.
So if I got my mousse back, maybe I'd finish my dessert. Anyways, I approach preachers or ministry, okay? In a sense, my way of looking at the way we should operate. We get caught up on what God is doing through. While what God is doing on earth is bigger than what you're doing on. You hear that?
Yeah.
Think about what that is.
That's a pastor moment.
Yeah,
that's a pastor moment for you guys. Anytime a pastor say action, it's like battle rap. Like, yo, y'all ain't reacting to what I said? No, we heard it.
Yo, y'all not ready for it. Y'all not ready for it. No.
Just sweat. Like, no, we got that.
Oh, that's where we at tonight. No. We're going on to the next question. I got now pull left in right now. No.
Did you hear it?
That wasn't a microphone dropping. I just want to say that.
God is doing on earth
Oh, we got.
It's much greater than what he's doing. Did you hear it?
Did you hear that?
I'm gonna let them go.
Because
No.
y'all first thing moved when I said it. So did you hear it? Yeah, I heard it. It was cool.
And I heard it before you.
I'm
shared
making a
it.
statement, you know.
No, it was good though.
No,
Go ahead.
no, you guys good? You guys
Now
good?
you.
Anyways, all right. So with that being said, what do you feel like
I could
about
say
his
a
statement?
plethora of things I want to
His
say.
statement about and explain and work through. If I think you were saying this.
You got it though.
Do you feel as though that if you're that doesn't take that you're like, well, not title, but evangelist, a minister, you know, we're all supposed to spread the gospel from being an artist. Do you feel that way, or do you disagree? I've heard artists before in CHH say, listen, if you want a bunch of theological pastor, that's not what I'm going to do. So I'm asking you, and it's almost a minister, you know, outside of this, but when I'm a Christian hip hop artist, the same things that you hear as me being a minister when I'm in the church. So the best way I can phrase it, do you agree with that statement? Do you feel like there's going to be some disconnect, flow with each other?
Those are. I don't know if it's on level. There's going to be. It's tough. I feel like you only have so much time on a track. So I guess what I'm going to say probably goes against. Well, at the same time, I personally feel it's not enough time to really bring things to teach, if you will.
Okay.
But then again, I've heard theological ideas and things. To your point where you want me theology, go see your pastor. I personally feel like that's a terrible thing to say. Personal viewpoint, like what are you getting at? What's the root of what you're saying? There's some pastors who have watered down.
Yeah. Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a question though for what you're saying after.
Okay.
So you're interrupting what I'm saying?
No, I just want to make sure that
Pastors don't know how to read
kind of,
English.
yeah. But I mean, it's I want to say subjective. It's a little I just don't know if I think our lives should be moving towards sharing the gospel. I think that, like our pastor, you know, said, one view being a Christian rapper as my ministry. I view my life and how I move within it.
the outgrowth of yourself.
Yeah, my ministry. Because if I just categorize it, this is me, my thoughts, and how I perceive it, Christian rap or Christian hip hop as my ministry, then what am I doing outside of that? How is my life reflecting? How am I moving and shaking within that? I don't know.
The space that you're has a purpose.
Right.
So space that to perform has a purpose. The purpose is Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You're at a show. You're at a Christian show. You understand what I'm saying? If you're at a conference, it's a Christian conference. Now, finish. Unless that artist is asked to do a cipher, that's different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he was still called from her place of is the genre Christian music.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
you have to then carry.
True.
That's my Christian thought
Mm-hmm.
benefits us the most. If my Christian thought benefits me the most because I'm in it with what I'm saying with my Christian thought, then the space I'm going to use a lot more, quote unquote, maybe theology-based songs. Now, if I'm in an area or a platform where the space is more generalized, meaning, it's not focused on just Christian, I might use the songs that are more towards, they emphasize God, but they may attract the listener to go to the track that addresses Christ as my Savior and so on.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Getting at. When the question that you asked, I feel or am I an artist, right? The problem is what to that argument. Prior to that argument is you started off as a born again. Thought process is about carrying out the thought of Christianity. The ability to write lyrics, or you can perform as an artist. Now the question is, am I a Christian artist, or am I a Christian that's just an artist? Or how am I supposed to navigate? Am I a minister, or am I just... we create these because I think we're safeguarding something. We're safeguarding the possibility or the possibility of what is going on. But do you understand what I'm saying? That the challenge is, the fear is, I may not get like people to call me, which means I might not get more opportunities to
Possibly.
Right. About that, because you're concerned about that, you might start a little bit, or you might start creating these new nuances of not a minister, so whatever.
I know sometimes unfortunately, the term Christian or Christianity connotations. And I know a lot of people who feel like, if I say I'm a Christian or a Christian artist, people are going to think this. And it may not have any advancement or what have you. It's just like, and I'm going to say exactly whatever else I'm going to say, or you know what I mean? Particular direction, so I don't get the negative connotations.
But a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm not a pastor, because pastors have used under the auspice of a pastor.
Right.
But I don't, quote unquote, a pastor when somebody meets me, meaning I'm Pastor so-and-so. I'm right, but I'm still going to be a pastor, regardless of, I know that as, oh man, Christianity, that's right. Christianity. But I'm not saying I'm a pastor if somebody asks me. Right. If somebody asks me, what are you doing? I don't go out and blaze myself as saying, hey, I'm Pastor Steve, nice to meet you. So I still
nor are you going to say that, I don't feel like you're going to go around saying.
To the premise, the platform that artists are being
it's a genre.
It's a genre. Is that their genre is that they are Christian. And they're building what they're doing on that platform. Now you have to deal with all that comes with the terms. See the nuances, the new nuances being created to try to shield themselves from the preconceived notions that non-believers have and other believers. This question in a minute about why people aren't in the church, why it's not. But those nuances now are starting to create this whole nother problem that allows people to live in causing the concept of Christianity to be even more watered. And now many things are being acceptable.
Right. Yeah.
That's my challenge. I get all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, like for me, I have a platform. Pastor. I have to accept that platform. I have to accept the responsibilities of that platform. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm given that platform, I have to fulfill all the platform. I feel like it's the same responsibility of anybody. Christianity, if it's an artist, if it's a preacher, if it's ever, when they're using that platform to move forward.
JC says this is a big topic in the CHH.
Talking about? I agree. Now, let's go around the table. about his question, why CHH is not churches within the community.
Okay, so we're talking pre-COVID. So the reason why I think it's not being accepted
Oh.
is because
Who are you back there?
think about who's the person who has the authority to allow them to come into the
Correct.
building.
Correct.
It's going to be the pastor
Correct.
most of the time.
Correct.
He may bring them in to the youth pastor, but the youth pastor's still going to listen to what the pastor's. For me, the reason why you're not seeing as much is because the pastor doesn't rock. Yay or nay, whether this person can come in or not, whether we're going to pay for this person to come in or not. That's me. That's
feel like you're drawn to
How's
the
pastor is.
ideology of hip hop in general
Mhm.
and what it.
So for me, I think that's why it is. You as the lay member can be like, yeah, pastor, da da. At the end of the day, he's gonna say, this is my. I have to da da da, and if it's not there, it's because of that. We've brought in artists, right?
Yeah.
Because you're okay with that. The church probably wasn't okay with that, but they're not the pastors.
And
they-
to be honest, I didn't see at the capacity in which we were.
I do have a comment. He didn't know it was Christian rap.
Oh, wow.
Where can we hear Itina, your music?
Go drop
Give,
the
yeah,
bomb.
And
yeah,
then
drop the
also-
plug. Tell them where to go.
Also, I would say that they didn't get to experience, so
Nope, not
they
at
probably-
all.
Oh, I do want to piggyback off of that, but
Anomaly, Spotify, all of those things.
Apple Music, right?
Yep, Apple
Oh, yeah.
Music.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Jason doing a show
Yeah, when?
in July.
I didn't see no information on
Couple
that.
of
Yeah,
different-
Jason.
Jason Graham, right?
I haven't seen it. Yeah, Jason
Jason
Graham.
Graham, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what are you gonna say about this?
oh, when I was
I'm sorry. I know.
when
know,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
younger, so I met you guys, you and Lenny, when who was at convocation. Yeah, I clowned them heavily, bad. I'm sorry. We went to go get Burger King. I remember it like it was. They was bumping music in the car, and I turned to my brother, and we laughed like, "Yo, what is this?" He was like, "What is this?" And these guys jamming to it. So personally, I felt like in bars, going back to what Itina said, it's still seen as hip hop. It don't matter. Kurt Franklin, shout out to Kurt Franklin, but they'll bump Kurt Franklin. They'll do certain things,
Yeah.
but
Because it's accepted in a higher scale because of,
Pastor accepts Kurt Franklin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
and then it's, it's gospel.
Yes.
It's not
yes.
labeled as
Yes.
Christian hip hop or Christian.
So we just always heard it was hip hop and stay away from hip hop and
People are viewing it as if it was created. No, this is so some reason, and it's annoying. The respect level of in the space is not really there.
because I really believe that point though. I don't think some of the reasons is because of the artists. I think, but I don't think to your point, that is how some people think. Like you're just trying to sound like this instead
Yeah.
of
Actually, I was one just like that. I was heavy in hip hop. I was going to
Mhm.
before I, went 100% with God. In a group that we're talking about street life and like really. And
let's find
when
those
I
lyrics,
heard-
man. Let's find those old songs.
oh yeah, they're in a vault.
Get them old tracks.
But when like really was focusing on this lifestyle, and this is what I wanted to do, introduced to Christian hip hop, and I was like, this is trash. Like, what is this? Like, I can't listen to this. And I also felt like because what I mean, I used to smoke and, you know, and then during in ciphers, we passing it around. While I was rapping. So when I came over, you know, just trying life or whatever, I'm like, I can't rap. It was a
You
vibe.
made an association.
Yeah, exactly.
You made us, but here's the thing. Listen to what she's saying. She with hip hop, with a certain culture, with the sound of the.
Also the content too. Like
But-
what you gonna talk
But
about?
wait a minute. But before you do that, before you do that, because if you just
Right.
okay, you should have been able to accept Christian hip hop.
I didn't.
That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
you're saying.
That's what I'm saying,
Gotcha.
because you've created an association with the sounds. People don't know. Many hymns that the churches sing,
Where they come.
saloons, old saloon songs. I mean, would sing songs in bars, and the melodies that came from those songs, many former theologians and preachers, Charles and John Wesley, revivalist writer. He got many of his inspirations from hearing this. He would go into the bars, take the hymn, and convert that song to him using their same melodies. So he
You know
converted.
that originally. You want to go back into the history or what have you, but a lot of that music, the base of it was in those bars.
So going gospel to
Like,
bar.
If we go into like musicality and the sound to turn into blues, which then goes into the clubs and stuff. Why, when we talk about like music,
Mhm.
when people talk about,
Did we
you know
address
what I'm
that?
saying?
We addressed that, didn't we? A little bit.
And it's like, oh, you can't redeem hip music from like gospel and hymns and
Well,
things like
is neutral.
neutral, yeah.
It's neutral. Music is not okay. It's neutral. You can't catch a spirit. Okay, and there's again, we can have this discussion because we're talking about David when he. Satan being, the chief musician. We could go through all of that scripturally later. But all that is just created terms. But what I'm getting back is this, is that because we've associated the sounds of hip hop with some kind of mentality and behaviors, the moment we would hear those similar, we that have come from that background and now are saved, we're turning it off because we feel we're practicing that, or we might be promoting that. It wasn't in Todd Bangs' Stars and Stripes. And that happened. Todd Bangs, he's been here before.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know who it is.
Look him up.
You know him.
You do know him.
He's been here. You shook his hand.
No. I wasn't around that time.
So,
Yeah.
and the way this happened, so keep it. I was living upstairs above Lenny and his family, and Lenny was into hip hop, the gospel hip hop before I knew it, and he would hear me condemn it, blah blah blah, and God would open my mind. Here's what happened: a girl at my job was at UB, and there were people. Todd, I think, was there handing out his CD as a single, and it was Stars and Stripes, and she doesn't listen. She didn't listen. She handed it off to me. I didn't know what it was. She said, this UB, I don't listen to it. If you want to listen to it. I brought it home. I started hearing it was, beats. And I was like, what is this? Then the lyrics. Yo, I jammed that song next half hour. Lenny couldn't believe.
Jam.
Yo, I was jamming that.
Guys. I had my boombox rocking all. I bumped that music.
Anyways,
I had a jam.
contained the
Right.
message, then I was like, yo. And then, of course, handing me off cross movement, and then from cross movement and everything. And then from there, it was just, you know, because you started to listen to what they were saying. Right. The message that was conveyed. Medium of helping the younger generation to get influenced with the gospel message.
So do you think then that you're saying that people just aren't ready for hip hop for them to accept it?
No,
because
I don't think people. I don't.
It's not that the beats from Christian hip hop artists sound from the world, like they're literally the daggone same.
Well, they got some of the same.
So what I'm saying is, it sounds like that person who is an artist who loves maybe transitioning, just got saved or whatever, listening to it, is kind of still wants that. Hear that Nas a little bit. Like I still want to hear some
real life.
Yeah, I still want. Y'all giving me like put the blunt down. I don't like how. Then like I used to like.
Okay, so I totally get what you're saying. I agree, right? I agree. Here's the problem. You brought it up earlier. The doorkeeper to the church is not that we're saying that's right in the sense of no matter what he says it should go. He should be told he's wrong, but that's for a different discussion. What I'm saying is that
we will tell you.
Because I teach you guys to tell me. I'm not offended by.
Who's right now? Go ahead.
That's right.
Well, that's a little different.
No, put that up.
Say the two comments. So Jennifer said we had a hip hop night at church one time.
Damn, 2012.
Whoa.
And then she said a lot of rap songs. And I was also thinking when I was talking, I'm thinking about Ray Charles. He took some into his world of him singing and stuff like that. And then Jason says, or the board.
Oh shit! Not the pastor, but the board of old people. So this is what I'm getting at. If you really want to make an impact or try to broaden the fan base, right? You have to educate the pastors. Now we've said this for years here that there should have been bringing pastors together and educating them on hip-hop in the sense of we wanted to do things like I would write the lyrics of the and read them, and I would ask the question: do you think that's a spiritual song, a Christian song? Absolutely. Then I would write the song Amazing Grace, which they're familiar with. Absolutely. Then I would hit them with this. The melody is an African folklore song. That John Newton took the song that he was hearing when he was a slave, Africans humming their songs, and when he was about to die, if he got him through this storm, he would devote his life. He's the one that wrote Amazing Grace. From the African folklore songs, he was hearing them sing them for trade. And you can play Amazing Grace. You can play Amazing Grace. Listen, you can play black keys on the piano because African folklore songs are played on. So you would then educate. Are you listening to me?
I hear you, Pastor.
Let me just break the tension for you. He says, I plan on doing that next month. They need to know about CHH. Yeah, pause.
Well, you did it right, though.
CHH.
Because I do want to say CCA too.
We got about 5 to 7 minutes. All right, let's wrap up. 5 seconds.
So,
well, I actually had something that I to Christian hip hop, and just something for the bishop to just think about. For me, what I want to tell you as a plug or anything like that, or not because you come from our church, Christ Crusaders Assembly, or anything. But I do like when I do hear theology songs. Not to say that every song has to be so rooted in it. You could talking about motherhood, and that's still Bible and still scriptures are coming from that. So I'm not. I don't know. I guess your song like "Living in Memory of" it's on the older album. We talk about the apostles. One of my favorite songs, probably the favorite song by you so far right now, because of what I've seen in Christian hip hop, which I've stopped watching for a little bit. Is it seemed for me, and I could be wrong, that it kind of got away from wanting to help edify people in the moments that they're going through. I get that you're not whatever, my brother or sister in the faith to me, and why don't you feel like that what you're saying and a light into the situation that I'm going through right now? That the more conviction hearing in Christian hip hop would, more fruit going on. Not that there's not fruit in Christian hip hop, but it will. Listeners like me who like more theology to be like, yeah, all right, listen to this person, listen to that person, and they like, I don't know what's the difference between this and 2 Chainz. So
that's facts.
But I just do commend you for being able to do that. But I just really commend the conviction in the think about the scriptures,
It's important. Shoot, what was I gonna say? I think at times people run out of things as it pertains to the gospel.
But they ain't feeding their spirit.
And I think sometimes it may be lack of continuously reading.
Absolutely.
And then live of understanding. If earlier, everything that I do, I'm going to a certain level with a biblical view, because it is. And so whenever if I approach music, okay, what do I want to say? And whatever I'm going to say, standard, in some kind of way. My hope is, or whatever. But sometimes you just want to rap. You want to play this lyrical game at times, and just that too. And I do feel like there should be some space for that. Sometimes, like I used to feel the same about like music that I hear. I'm like, this is like a Christian version of mumble rap. Like I'm, or whatever. Just being honest, like I don't even know what this person is saying, or just like you sound just like, what's the point? And he like that kind of music on the secular side, or super theological. Jesus,
you got this.
Perhaps it does point to truth. It does talk about some things. Those things may be talked. Be surprised when I listen to the words. I was like, this can be encouraging for someone who just entered into this space. Listening to that, there is that, okay, your taste in music, as you grow, you may start to want something a little bit more meaty. And that was.
So do you?
I feel like that was.
So do you?
You're so close. Yeah, you do, right?
So that people want to just get lyrical on the track. Is that the person to still, like, let's say you got 11 tracks, but you got 2 tracks, like those 2 tracks are going to invite you to those other 9 tracks.
Hopefully,
so it's almost,
yeah.
It might.
Because there starts to be some kind of intent, right?
I'm gonna be honest, like create music, I don't necessarily think about it in the sense of people are going to be drawn in and listen to the rest of the music. Like, for example, the song "Grown Woman." I wanted songs that talked about the context that I live in, who are working as entrepreneurs, who work as an entrepreneur, moving and shaking, and still just living this Christian life. I want to hear songs like that. For me, I want to write a dope. Production is good, sound is good, lyrics are. I want to be able to be encouraged, and so I don't hear a lot of it. There are some. I don't hear a lot of it, so I created it first for that reason. It's like, okay, I know I feel this way. I know a whole bunch of other women are gonna feel, and so I wanted it to be, in a sense of all the people really like, oh, okay, I accept it. Of understanding it on its surface. So I lyrical on that song.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't really like scriptures, but that whole song, if you really break that song, period. Flip side, there's a song that, womanhood, that might be a little deeper, that might be a little bit more on the somebody who may be in a level of understanding could get it. Whereas somebody, that lyricism, if you will, who will be like, I don't like this one. But I didn't do that necessarily intentionally. Like, I'm gonna make this one very adamant about pushing and preaching the gospel. Like, come on, like but what I want and what I need to seek out for it. Some people might not be there yet with their lyricism, with how they approach. There's mad artists who are new Christians.
Yeah.
Just brand new Christians. And so we kind of got to allow for a little space. And so what I try to do in certain circumstances, if I hear I'm going to reach out, but when I hear a new woman who try my best, I'm busy as crazy, to try to develop and encourage them.
Gotcha.
Throw them some scriptures here and there. You know.
That's dope. Yeah, I do, just so you know.
Now,
Hey.
about kingdom music, they come from the Bible.
Yeah, I just check out.
Tag. I'm gonna just share this with you. I think you'd like fire. Everybody from Hog. You listen to them?
Yeah, 7. I 7. Got me like, yo, I run through a wall for Christ after I'm about 7. Like,
Yo,
let's
remember
go.
when he came, not too long after that, I honestly, that's when I wrote that journal entry. I was so compelled by how they were moving. I was like, what is life?
That's a fact.
Locusts and honey.
You remember the one time we was out stuff for the past 2 years, and we went out to go witness, and I'm like, but just out here passing out tracks, witnessing the people, I want to say gratifying, but I feel the most where
This
I'm
is
at.
it.
This,
Yeah.
not all the other stuff,
Yeah.
but that
was
is
Oh, Jason got saved when Bizzle and 7 came to Buffalo.
wow.
That was a while ago.
that
It was a minute ago.
Well, that's what's up.
And then we brought him twice.
We brought him twice, but then I thought that was off of Edgar or yeah.
You did a concert there, and then
Yes.
Oh, that's right. He did do it.
I got the
First
mind
time
out
I
here.
think.
I remember things.
Yeah.
Listen,
you
it's-
said